Morgan was not planning on going to Dallas next week in racing. You know, he's busy running the Lucas Oil Company nowadays. So, Morgan, what's the decision? What are you going to do?
Well, first, a little correction. I'm not running Lucas Oil. It's running me. No, we got to go. That's the only way there is to look about it. We're kind of race to race on our parts inventory, things like that. So we have enough to go down there and run and finish this race off. But we can't not go and make an attempt at winning this next round, because that would just be conceding points to somebody that Richie's competing against. They're really close in points. So we got to go down and at least do our best to hold up our end of the bargain. And, you know, this whole Lucas team, they've done a great job. But when you're in this part-time situation, a whole new world for me, you got to start thinking about who can go, who can't, who are you going to be able to slide in. And it's just, it's an interesting situation to be in. But the Geico team, they've done a great job helping us out too, and Aaron's just done an awesome job running the cars. We were planning on running Reading. I don't know if we're going to be able to do that now with going to Dallas. We might have to push it off and rethink about that. But we'll see how it goes. Just hopefully go out and do some damage and make it worthwhile.
Just to clarify, so go to Dallas to complete this event. What about the actual Dallas event? Do you try and stick around and race on Sunday for that?
You know, there's a lot of things we got to discuss. We don't even have an entry in for it at this point, and I don't know if, you know, you have to run both. I got to talk to Graham and find out what the deal is. There's so many parts of the politics, and this is a whole new deal for me. I've never actually finished a race at another track before. I thought that was going to happen in Brainerd. We got lucky. We got to run the final, and that was a big deal for us. And it's kind of cool to be one of those guys that gets to win a race that's supposed to be held in one state, and it's actually being held in another state. But I don't know. We'll see what happens.
Now, I saw you up there looking over the track during the downtime. What did you see, and, you know, would you have continued to drive here?
From a team owner standpoint, you know, I'm more dumb as a driver than I am as a team owner. You know, I want to do what's best for everybody, and sometimes you got to look at what's best for the whole sport. I know Bruton and his team have built an amazing facility here, but sometimes, you know, some things just aren't right, and there's some issues with the track down there that I know they've tried to work on in the past, but it seems like maybe they might have to just start over on it. I don't know. It's just, it is a safety issue. These cars, man, you lose a tire at 300 miles an hour, they take out your wing, you're driving a dragster, and then you're going to go airborne. You're going to have a crazy wreck. Something bad will happen because of that. And the same thing can happen in a funny car. And funny cars are probably more dangerous. You got those big tires sitting right next to you. You could be junking chassis, all kinds of things just because of something that you already know is a problem. How smart would it be for us as team owners and racers that go out and actually race on a track that we know is compromised?
All right, well, thank you very much, Morgan. We'll see you next weekend.
Well, thank you, and I also appreciate Danny Trey for making the call that they did, so thank you.
Yeah, they were under a pressure cooker for sure. Speaking of pressure, let's talk about compression ratio. It's this week's Geico Tractionary.
That is the ratio between the volume of the cylinder and combustion chamber when the piston is at the bottom of its stroke and the volume of the combustion chamber when the piston is at the top of its stroke. In other words, if you had 1,000 cc's of air that would go into that cylinder and combustion chamber when the piston is at the bottom, and then you bring it to the top and it will only hold 100 cc's of air, that is 1,000 to 100. Reduce it fractionally, that is 10 to 1 compression. Top fuel dragsters, they run about 7 to 1, give or take a little bit. If they want to raise that compression, they bring that piston a little bit higher up into the combustion chamber by taking some head gasket out or putting a bigger piston in it. If they want to reduce the compression, they do the opposite.